Now moving on to the last question of this chapter, that is describe the internal structure of a dorsiventral leaf with the help of a labeled diagram. So in this question we have to describe the internal structure of a dorsiventral leaf along with the labeled diagram of it. So first of all, to answer this question we have to know that in which kind of plants dorsiventral leaf is found. So clearly we know that dorsiventral leaves are present in dicot plants, right? Dorsiventral leaves are present in dicot plants. Now basically, if we talk about the description of internal structures of these dorsiventral leaves, then they have three parts, or I may say that these dorsiventral leaves are made up of or composed of three main parts, that is epidermal layer, mesophils and vascular bundles. If we talk about epidermis or epidermal layers of dorsiventral leaf, then the outermost covering of these leaves are epidermis, and we have two types of epidermis in the dorsiventral leaves, that is adaxial epidermis and abaxial epidermis. Suppose this is a leaf and outer portion or outermost covering of a leaf is known as adaxial epidermis, whereas the lower part or the lower covering of a dorsiventral leaf is known as abaxial epidermis. Now in the dorsiventral leaf they have a thick waxy layer which is known as cuticle. Also they have stomata, but stomatas are higher on the abaxial epidermis, whereas they can be very few or less in number or may be absent on the adaxial epidermis. This is about epidermis. Let's move on to the next part, that is mesophil. Now these dorsiventral leaves have mesophil cells, and these mesophil cells are of two types, that is palisade mesophils and spongy mesophil cells. These palisade mesophil layer is present below the epidermis, below the adaxial epidermis, and we have another type of mesophil cells, that is spongy mesophil cells, which is present below the palisade mesophil cells and above the abaxial epidermis layer. The spongy mesophil cells also have intercellular spaces. Now let's move on to the last part, that is vascular bundle. Then vascular bundles are present in dorsiventral leaves. Yes, they are present but are surrounded by bundle sheath cells. Right? So this is all about the description of internal structure of dorsiventral leaf. Now let's write answer for this last question, and it will go like this. First of all, this dorsiventral leaf are present. Leaf is leaves. If we are writing leaf, then we are going to write is. Dorsiventral leaf is present in dicot plants. You will find the dorsiventral leaves in dicot plants only. Now let's discuss the internal structure. These leaves have three components, three main components. Such as, if we talk about that, this is epidermis. So they have two epidermis are present in them. Two epidermis are present. One is adaxial epidermis. Adaxial epidermis on upper side, on the upper side, and abaxial epidermis on the lower side. On the lower side. Now, this abaxial epidermis have higher number of this abaxial epidermis have higher number of stomata, higher number of stomata as compared to adaxial epidermis. Adaxial epidermis. Now let's come towards the second thing, that is mesophyll cells. Mesophyll. So basically we have two types of mesophyll cells. Two types of mesophylls. First one we have is palisade mesophylls present below adaxial epidermis. The second one we have is spongy mesophyll present below palisade one and palisade one, and they are having intercellular spaces. The last one we have is vascular bundles. So these are surrounded by bundle sheath cells and can be seen in veins and midribs of leaves. So this is the description of internal structure of dorsiventral leaf. Now we are going to draw the diagram of this leaf. So let's try to write or draw the diagram. This is your first adaxial epidermis. This is adaxial epidermis. Then we have palisade. Mesophyll cells like this, which are just below adaxial epidermis. Here we have vascular bundles, and vascular bundles are surrounded by bundle sheath cells. Then also we have spongy mesophyll cells like here. These are spongy mesophyll cells. Then we have abaxial. Then we have abaxial epidermis like this. We have abaxial epidermis. So this is the complete diagram of dorsiventral leaf, the anatomy of dorsiventral leaf. Let's try to label this. First of all, if we talk about, this is adaxial epidermis. These are palisade mesophyll. Then these are spongy mesophylls. These are spongy mesophylls. Then this is vascular bundle. I'm writing it as VB. These are bundle sheath cells. In the light yellow color, these are bundle sheath, cells, this is abaxial epidermis, abaxial epidermis. So with this we have completed the diagram of internal structure of dorsiventral leaf, and we have completed the solution of question number 12. With this we have completed the whole chapter of this NCERT discussion, that is anatomy of flowering plants. So this is all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.